You made it!
Welcome to this video series where I will be training for a marathon. The marathon will take place in September, and the purpose of this video series is that I want to show what's gonna happen as you run once a week, but you increase the running. And ultimately I should be running long distances like, half marathons and all that here while I'm training for the marathon. And the last time I ran a long distance was last September when I ran the marathon. I've done it twice now, and last year was a disaster because I trained differently than the year before, which was my first marathon and was surprisingly easy. So I just want to share my experience and what I have learned and the mistakes that I have made, which I have now some clarity as to what I probably should do when it comes to training. This is not gonna be the optimal way to train for a marathon, 100% not. There's another YouTuber who gave me advice on how to train for a marathon. I was thinking about looking up the comment he left a long time ago where he mentioned this method for training. I'm probably gonna look it up so I can talk about it in one of these videos in the future. I will post a new video to this series every week, so perhaps we will go through that in another video. But the reason why I decided not to look that up and instead I just came up with this idea of, okay, I'm gonna run every week and I'm gonna increase the running, and that's that. Run once a week and increase the distance. That's my plan. Extremely simple. And the reason why I decided to go with that is because it's so simple. And that's why I want to document this process as well. Because last year I only ran 10 kilometers once a week, plus occasional 5 to 7 kilometers and whatever. And 2 weeks before the marathon, I ran 10 kilometers 4 days in a row. And that's all the training I did. And that's why when I was running the marathon itself, my muscles started cramping like crazy after pretty much 20 kilometers. Even though I was taking electrolytes and all that, I actually had more electrolytes and liquids with me than the year before. But still, the year before, the marathon was really easy for me. And that year I trained by pushing my limits. I ran 26 kilometer runs multiple times during the summer. I ran even one 31 kilometer run during that summer, and so on and so forth. I was really pushing myself. Although the reasons for me pushing myself weren't exactly healthy, I was kind of punishing myself for something. And that's why I just always told myself I have to run more and more or I'm not good enough, which, is not a really good place to be mentally. And then last year I decided, okay, I'm not gonna punish myself. I'm not gonna push myself too much. And I ended up not pushing myself enough. So last week I ran 5 kilometers, which is something I've been doing this whole time since last year. It's something I do throughout my life. Whether I'm training for something or not, I run once a week, 5 kilometers. Yesterday I ran 7 kilometers. I will increase the distance of running by 2 kilometers every week. So next week it's gonna be 9 kilometers, then it's gonna be 11 kilometers, 13 kilometers, 15 kilometers. And I am super excited about this. And it's one of the reasons I wanna share. This is something I think if this method of training works, something as simple as this, not thinking about, okay, run a specific time or distance or walk and run and do intervals, all these complicated things. Just start from something and add and go up. And that's all. If that's gonna work, I just think it's awesome because I love simple things. I love simplicity, and I think a lot of other people's as well like that. So follow along if you are interested in this journey as a runner. I will in these videos go through, my motivations and inspirations and where I come from when it comes to running, as well as I will talk a little bit about gym training, because how does it affect my running when, for example, yesterday I ran the 7 kilometers and the day before that I did deadlifts. I did 12 reps with 150 kilos, so that my hamstrings were really sore yesterday while I was running. So I think it's interesting to try to hold on to my strength in the gym while simultaneously running more and more. So these are things I have no idea about. I'm a total noob. I just do things. I just happen to run and train, but I am no expert. So in any case, I will insert some clips from yesterday while I was running. And other than that, let's get into it. Follow along, and I will be making videos until next September when I finish the marathon. Remember to subscribe and like the video, and thank you so much. All right, so I just came back from the 7K run. I took it slowly on purpose, but I did not remember that I used to run this same route 2 years ago. Apparently I did, when I was running and training for my first marathon. And the time I ran almost precisely 2 years ago was 7 minutes faster. So I'm 7 minutes slower than I used to be 2 years ago. And 2 years ago, the marathon that I ran was easier than I thought it would be. It was really like a pleasant experience. Whereas last year, the marathon was a nightmare and a disaster. And judging by this run, this year's marathon is also going to be a disaster if I don't do things differently. But I am doing things differently compared to last year. And to be honest, 2 years ago, I trained a lot more. I trained in the winter also. So the winter before, I was already running once or twice a week, and I was doing like 12 kilometers, 15 kilometers, 8 kilometers, whatever it was. Whereas last year I just ran a 10K a week. And at this point last year, I was just running 5Ks once a week, like I've been doing now. But this run was okay, felt decent, felt a little bit shitty because I'm in a bad shape. I'm not in good shape right now when it comes to cardio. But I'm more excited about running than I have been in a long time. Definitely more excited than last year. And I feel so hyped about this plan of running 2 kilometers more every week, because it's gonna be really challenging. But I know I can do it. And that's the cool thing to do. You do something, you really push your boundaries, you really push your limits, but you know you can do it. That's so exciting. Let's just hope I don't get injuries, because sometimes when you push yourself too much, you get injured. I'm no stranger to that, because I'm a bit stupid when it comes to training. I don't do it the smartest way possible. I just do what I find inspiring and cool and fun and whatever. So anyway, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more. It sucks, it's gonna be difficult, it's gonna be challenging, but it's gonna be fun. And I hope I can show others that even if you are not in a great shape, you can do it. Like if anybody is dreaming or thinking about running a marathon, you can 100% do it. As long as you can run something like a 5K, then you can run a marathon. You just need to work out consistently. But that's all you need. Like if you're not fat, you're a normal person, and you can run something like a 5K. And most people think they can't. But if you go run now and you stop, ask yourself, why did you really stop? The only reason is that either you are in a super bad shape and your heart rate is like 200, which, just shouldn't happen if you're slow. And if your body is kind of falling apart, you feel pain in your shins or feet or something like that. But otherwise, usually why people stop is because they're not used to being uncomfortable, and they don't understand that they could go on if they just kept going on. I know it sounds a little stupid and oversimplified, but it really is the truth, because it is exactly how I ran my first half marathon. I thought I can only run a 10K, and it was all I had been doing. Until one day I listened to a podcast about a guy who ran long distances despite being a big, massive dude. And I just decided I'm not a big, massive dude. I'm a normal sized guy. I should be able to run longer distances. And boom, I ran a 15-kilometer run. But I didn't eat enough, so I ran out of energy. So I just felt like I can't move my body anymore. But 2 weeks forward from that, I ran a half marathon because I knew it should be possible. I just didn't realize it. So, it's pretty interesting when you really get into these things and you test yourself and your limits. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week with the episode 2 of this series.